Okay.
Coach, sorry about that. I guess just first of all, just talk about the importance of kind of keeping the momentum going, and just about an update if you can on Christian Brown.
Well, we just we went right back to work yesterday and didn't do a lot. We haven't been on the court a lot either of the last 2 days, with the short week that we have now with Florida. But I thought our preparation has been really good, and we went right to work on Florida, whether it was the film sessions, whether it was the court, whether it was getting ourselves ready with what we want to do offensively and defensively, game plan. And I think their attitudes and energy levels and all those things have been outstanding. And Christian Brown practiced more today, so hopefully he'll be available to us tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach, I just wonder, kind of the unpredictability of the SEC. I mean, just seeing what Florida did the other day against Tennessee, and they had a bunch of guys out, and even you guys, is it seem like even more unpredictable of a season than they always are, I guess?
Well, I think it's just the year. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what it shows with Florida, when you take out 2 starters with Scotty Lewis and Colin Castleton, it just shows how deep they are. They might be as deep as consistently deep as anybody in the SEC. And I mean, they just keep coming at you in waves. Mike has done a great job of building that program over the years now, and putting a lot of talented guys in there. So there's not much drop off if somebody's out or when they go to the bench, and they just keep coming at you in waves with their pressure because they want to create turnovers. They want to create issues for you. They get great spacing. He can play a lot of different lineups, like I said, because of that depth. So he can go with 2 bigs. He can go with a small ball 4-man. He can go with 3 guards. He can really mix it up. And so the unpredictability is strong. And I think what happens, and it's happened to us, you can lose your spirit quick in these games, and you just can't allow that to happen. And you've got to be able to be in a position where you're continuing to fight back and understand how long the games are. And that's easier said than done in this type of year, in this type of pandemic year. But that's what you have to strive to do in these games. And I think that's why you see some lopsided scores, because some people struggle with that. Us included.
Thanks.
Next, let's have Mark Weiser and then Mike Griffith.
Tom, with Tumani, I guess the last couple of games he's been pretty good with the fouls. Where do you see his game in terms of, what are you looking for as, you guys hit towards the midway part of the SEC schedule?
Well, we need him to be aggressive. We're a third of the way through right now, so we really need him to be aggressive offensively. We need to find him more. He needs to keep being aggressive on the glass. I think he's got to focus on going stronger in his finishing. And the ball just needs to move a little bit better, but he's a very valuable guy. He's doing a lot of really important things for us, but there's no question that we need to do more for him to get him the ball. And he needs to do more in the sense of cutting, moving without the ball, being ready to shoot. And then when he drives, really going up with some strength and force.
Coach, I know there's some staples every game for this Georgia team: offensive movement and rebounding, the 2 things you stress consistently. Against Florida, what are some of the key matchups? I mean, as far as what they do, what you need to do particularly well against this Florida team.
As far as individual matchups or like key attributes of the game?
Well, yeah, just like a couple of the keys to the game outside.
Well, they're so good with their pressure. We got to take care of the ball. Right? We cannot be giving them live ball turnovers. I mean, they really, really want to force the tempo. I mean, they play as many different defenses as anybody in the league. Whether it's a 3-2 zone, a 2-3 zone, a 1-3-1 zone, full court man-to-man run and jump, zone pressure. They can switch. I mean, they just do a lot of stuff. So, and it's to confuse you, and it's to get you off out of character. We can't let that happen. We've got to do a good job of controlling the pace of the game, recognizing what's there, making simple plays, and they're just too athletic to give live ball turnovers. So I think that's paramount. I think how we defend the post, especially if Castleton is back, to go with Payne is going to be really crucial, much like it was the other night with Kentucky. And their spacing is as good as anybody's spacing. I'd put their spacing up there with Alabama's and Arkansas. I mean, they just do a great job of really staying true and committed to their spacing. So, and with Scotty Lewis back, we can't be in a position where we're over helping or overplaying because he can back cut you to death. So I think that stuff is important. But It really goes back to the same things. It's the rebounding, it's the movement without the ball. It's not letting Trey Mann get really comfortable in the game. It's not leaving Noah Locke. It's understanding that Appleby is instant offense. They're not going to put anybody out on the court that can't make plays. So every matchup that you have, you've got to honor it. You got to honor it with being alert, aware, and then when the shot goes up, you got to find him and hit him.
Okay, let's have Davis Baker and then Jed May.
Hey, Coach, it seems sometimes in college basketball, like grad transfers can be hit or miss. This year, it seems like you really hit with all three. Are you surprised at all at how well they've all been able to play together?
Well, they're all good people. I think they're all good people, and they've been well raised, and they've all got their own story, right? I mean, and how they've been raised, and we're very fortunate in that. And you're exactly right; it can be hit and miss. And the last thing you want is an independent contractor. And I think in this day and age, it's very easy for that to happen, because it's going to get even more prevalent, you know, obviously with grad transfers and with transfers as the rules change here eventually. But it's really, really important that they come in, and I want them to understand how important it is that they are at Georgia, not just because they're playing basketball in the SEC, but because of what kind of education this gives them, what kind of institutional memory this school has. The level of when you go someday in this workforce and you've got the University of Georgia behind your name to go with what you already had, that's a pretty impressive thing. But all three of them have done a really good job of blending in, not making it about themselves, being locked into the team. And I think they really are excited about the fact that they're getting better.
Hey, Coach. Following up on that a little bit, you've mentioned a couple times this year about Severe, Justin Kier, and Andrew Garcia living together. Just as people, how has that benefited those guys, both with Justin and Andrew being in a new place, getting acclimated to a new team, and with Severe, I guess, sort of being around older, more mature guys?
I think it's good. You know, I think it's good. I think where I'm heading with this is I'm not going to I like the way they're together. I'm not going to let guys live with non-basketball players anymore. And because it's just, you need that camaraderie, especially in a situation like this year where you have so many new guys. It has been so different. You are so isolated. I think all of that is good. And I think it's really, really hard to find ways to make sure that your team has got camaraderie the way things are laid out. You don't want them out and about a lot. You don't want them in a lot of different places, and because it's just too risky right now with the way the world sits. So when they are together like that, I think that's really, really important. And I think I've learned my lesson on if you're going to be on the team, unless it's a really, really unique situation, you're going to live with your teammates, because it's really important that they get that extra time, because it just builds bonds, and then that carries over to the court and from the locker room and things like that.
Okay, and the last question, we're going to have Griffin Callahan.
Hey, Coach. You guys have an edge in assists so far this year over Florida. Is ball movement something you're putting an emphasis on going to this game? And is that something maybe you can use to your advantage that maybe they don't move the ball as well?
No, I don't. I didn't know that. I never look at comparison stats, because it really is. Those have no variance on what we're doing. And I think they're one of the better ball moving teams around. So those are just their statistics, and that doesn't really tell a story to us at all. And we just need to move the ball at a good rate and make sure that we're cutting and moving and ready to shoot. And that's what's most important to us, because I know they're going to do the same thing.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sorry for the delay again. We practiced. I got to get this timing right, and then we just had a film session. So the rest of the guys will be here quick. Okay. Thank you.